Coach, why don't you just kind of rehash the win over Eastern, and then we'll take a couple questions.
Obviously, great win for us. Great to get off to a great start. Makes a big difference to jump out 7-0 on the first drive into the wind, in the first quarter. Ran the ball obviously effectively. We threw it once or twice on the whole drive and put points on the board. Kind of set the tone for the game. We rushed for 292 yards. They rushed for 103. You're going to win a lot of games when that happens. Much more efficient in the passing game. We're 13 for 18 with 2 touchdowns. The passing game, obviously, we got to clean up the 1 interception, which was costly, particularly in a junction in the game. We had back-to-back turnovers. One, we had first down on the 20, and we fumbled. The next series, we're inside their 35, and we throw a pick. 2 easy opportunities to put points on the board at 21-0. Could have really ended the game in the first half, and we didn't make the plays we needed to at that point. But much more efficient in the throwing game, and then obviously when you run for 292 yards, that's what you're trying to do in football. You win a lot of games that way. Defensively, tremendous effort start to finish. Really about 3 plays you'd like to have back the whole game. Misfit on the run where they have a 28-yard run on a play that doesn't need to happen, and then we got confused on a motion from unbalanced and then back in unbalanced, and we didn't get lined properly, and they get a 58-yard run. So the nice thing is, besides two runs, their tailbacks had 19 yards on 21 carries. So we were very concerned going to the game. The one kid's got over 900 yards rushing, the other kid's got over 500, and you take 2 plays out of there, and they average under 1 yard a carry for the whole game, and that's obviously was the strength of their football team. And their passing game had been relatively successful, but it fed off their run game. They're always ahead of the chains. They're always in short yards. They always had you on your heels and defending the run, and then they work their play action or work some one-on-one matchups where Saturday, because we dominated their run game, we got them in a ton of 3rd and longs, and now their pass game wasn't near as effective, and their protections weren't near as effective when your guys can tee off like we could on Saturday. And obviously our D-line 4-man pass rush was phenomenal the whole game, setting a school record with 9 sacks. But it really stems from playing first and second down run. If you don't stop the run on first, second down, if it's 3rd and 2, you're not teeing off and trying to get after a quarterback. You're playing run, and then they're play actioning you and you're transitioning. So the fact that we are so dominant against their run really set the tone for our defense to have a heck of a day on 3rd down. And 5 for 16 on 3rd down. I felt like we got one other stop. I really felt like they should have been 4 for 16 on 3rd down. But we didn't make a plan of ball in the air, and they did. And but our 3rd down defense was better. And a lot of the sacks, we just won some individual matchups, which is huge. Some of them we had darn good coverage, and the guy had time to throw it and then didn't have time to throw it, and our rush stayed after him. So it wasn't just, as we talk about pass defense, it's all 11 guys. It all feeds together. Pass rush forces early throws and interceptions, and good coverage allows times for kids to get home, and you saw it both on Saturday. But the big thing is all the 3rd longs. We're getting better on defense. We're playing much better each week, and we got them in a bunch of third downs where you could really be aggressive up front. Our kids really had a huge day because of
it. The sacks say aggressiveness, lack of penalties say poise to me. You mentioned the efficiency on offense. Overall, was this probably your most satisfying win here at Miami?
Yeah, it's our best. It was our most complete win for sure. Last year we won a 42-41 game where there wasn't a whole lot of defense going on, and we won a 10-3 or 7 game where there wasn't a whole lot of offense going on. And this, 20-some first downs to 10, 400-plus yards to 190 yards, and we were in control on both sides of the ball. You felt like we could move the ball and score points. And we scored 28 points through 3 quarters. We didn't really try to score points in the 4th quarter. We had a 28-10 lead. We were trying to run the ball and take time off the clock, and our offense got 1 first down the first time they got it, which was just okay. It's not horrible. It's not a 3-and-out, but it's not. You'd like to at least get a couple first downs and really saw. We did take about 4 minutes off the clock. Then the next time we got the multiple first downs and really took a bunch of time. And what little chance I had when we got the ball back with like 6-something left, we took it all the way down to a minute, where if you give them the ball back and they get a score, you either got timeouts or an onside. It's still very much anybody's game. So 28 points for us in 3 quarters, pretty good, and you just got to clean up those 2 mistakes in the second quarter, and we probably have 31, 35 points, maybe more, through 3 quarters. So it was a pretty dominant performance for us on both sides of the ball. Our coverage continued to be good. Our kickers got to kick better. We didn't kick off very good, and we didn't punt very good Saturday, but our coverage was good in both situations. So again, our field position keeps inching and getting better and better as the year goes on, which is very, very important for all football teams, but particularly for our team. We have to keep them on long fields. We can't put them on short fields, and we got to try to create some shorter fields for our offense.
Can you describe your level of satisfaction when you got home Saturday night?
It's good. I've been feeling good for a while. I really have. Obviously, the win makes it feel way better, but to me, I'm pretty realistic with where we're at and what we're doing here. And yeah, like I always say, I want it to happen today, but I'm also, I'll jump off a bridge if I live that way, that it's got to happen today, because it's not totally realistic for our football program yet. But I really felt strongly how we played against Western. I think Western's a great football team, but we played them toe-to-toe for 4 quarters, and we did a lot of things very well. And I was disappointed some of the points we gave up in that game. I really felt like we didn't make them earn it as much as we should have. And then you watch what Western's been doing since then, and scoring 50-some points a week and blowing everybody out, and you say, okay, we did really play very solid football that day. And then Buffalo, obviously, I felt like was another step in the right direction, where we just did way more things on both sides of the ball. Well, yeah, there's still tons of errors and there's tons of things that we got to get better at, but we inched in the right direction again, and I thought we're playing with more confidence and more passion, and we're starting to believe in ourselves, and we're starting to believe that if we do it right, we can be pretty good. And then obviously last week we kind of put it all together, and the game, the score was probably closer, 28-13 than really the game was. We really physically handled them on both sides of the ball, which we haven't, like I said, we haven't done that since I've been here for sure. We've had some good games on either side of the ball, but typically the other side of the ball didn't help us a whole lot. So, and execution is better, and penalties keep going down, and we're getting smarter players on special teams, and they're gaining experience. So that's still, for me, moving forward for this week against Akron. Obviously, it's our 3rd home game. It's great to be home again. We've obviously played much better at home this year, and they're a very physical, tough defense, and they've played a lot of lower scoring games because of their defense, and they're smart on offense. They don't take a lot of chances. They definitely try to stay ahead of the change and manage the games because they know where their strength is. And really, in the league, they could have won every game except for one. They lost a big one to BG, but other than that, they've been in every darn game, and they're pretty tough, and we lost them a year ago. But we think it's a great opportunity, but we know it's a great opportunity to get better and clean up some more mistakes. And if we get a little better than last week, we're going to be right in this game in the 4th quarter and have a chance to win it. And if you make some plays down the stretch, you win another football game, which would be huge for our program.
Coach, you've been talking a lot, the team's coming, we're getting there, we're getting closer. I mean, is it possible to say that, just after one win, that maybe you've kind of gotten over that hump?
Yeah, I think that the mental hurdle is getting there. I don't know if we fully have gotten over the mental hurdle of our kids are starting to understand that they kind of are in control of their own destiny. That I don't know there was total belief even earlier this year that you have to do it right all the time. You have to play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And they're starting to figure out, like, man, even Saturday, 192 yards, we clean up like 2 mistakes. They got 90 yards. I mean, it still comes down to even the few plays we gave up. We can show right on tape our free safety got misaligned and missed a tackle by 2 yards. He was misaligned by 5 yards. If he was aligned correctly by 5 yards, he's making the play in the backfield. He just missed the play. He almost got there. It was 2 inches away from making a tackle in his 5-yard alignment. You clean up the alignment. They ran the play again. He was standing in the backfield waiting for it. So even the plays we gave up Saturday, they're saying, just run what we're supposed to run the way we're supposed to run it and execute on offense the way you're supposed to execute, and things happen pretty good. When you don't, it doesn't work out. We still have some physical deficiencies, strength-wise, at certain positions that we got to continue to manage through development of our players, but they're starting to figure out that this 4 out of 5 plays doesn't work, or 3 out of 5 plays doesn't work, or 5 plays in a row in a drive works, and then a bonehead mistake that causes a turnover ends the whole drive. You got to stay after it every single, and we're starting to get that tenacity and that mindset. Like I said, it's never been lack of physical effort. Our kids go try, but they're starting to learn what it takes to win at this level.
Gus saw more playing time Saturday than he had all season. Was that just because Eastern Michigan's run defense, or is this something we can anticipate seeing over the next couple of games?
Yeah, I've been hopeful that he could play more and more, and we say the same thing every week. We don't run enough plays on offense. A lot of his limiting his reps have been to do we get off the field so quickly. When you go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and you run 55, 60 plays, you know, more skill guys on offense touch the ball in our backfield. We feel good about our backs. You know, we got 4 backs involved at some point on Saturday with the game on the line. Well, because we had more carries, you know. It's nice to, you know, you say the thing where you're trying to get Zoe more touches, or you're trying to get Kenny more touches, or you're trying to get Spencer out there in a key situation at the end. Or, you know, there was just more touches because we got first downs and we stayed on the field. And he's a weapon that we feel like can help us win games. He's completely different than Billy. He's a completely different style quarterback. So from a defensive standpoint, when he comes in the game, you got to look at defending a different deal back there at the quarterback position. And then Saturday, the nice thing is he threw the ball, had 3 completions and he's more than, we've said it all along. I said Saturday we had a big chance against Kent for him to throw an easy touchdown. He missed it. That's just part of, he's a young kid he's figuring this thing out too, you know, and he's a little nervous at times, but his competitiveness level and his ability to run the football and his ability now, as he showed Saturday, that if you want to play the run, we can hurt you throwing it with him in the game, whether it be a touchdown or he hit one out to Murph for a nice chunk play. That was really easy play. They were loaded up to stop the run. We just flipped it out to a really good player out in space, and next thing you know, we got a 15, 20-yard gain. So he's definitely gives us another dimension that we feel like we can use that doesn't really slow. You know, like I always say, people put tailbacks at quarterback and put the receiver out at wide out all the time. We have the luxury of a kid that we can put in there that can run like a tailback, but he can still throw like a quarterback. So when we see those teams that go wildcat, we do load up to stop the run, because in some of the tailbacks occasionally throw a touchdown pass, but we're going to make them where you got a quarterback that legitimately can throw the ball. And then now we have it on tape. We knew it before Saturday, but now you have it on tape. They down the red zone, they try to pressure and play 3 deep, 3 under coverage, and we threw the ball to Murph in the seam wide open. It was an easy score, and that's what we have to be able to do when he gets in the game. So it's a nice dimension to have, and if you get up to where you're running 70, 80 plays, there's a lot more snaps for everybody to impact the game.
I'm sure that would include Maurice, too, down the road, wouldn't it? I mean, the explosiveness of that kid is off the charts, it seems to me.
Yeah, no, and he's obviously growing. He was behind some other guys early in camp, and now he's growing, and obviously he showed Saturday it could have been a 3-yard loss. It was a 76-yard gain. We got to continue to find ways to get the ball in his hands, obviously. I think it's the first thing my wife asked me when we got home was, and I think I knew it was going to be the first thing she asked me. She was like, hey, that Maurice, you really like him, right? Yeah, it didn't seem like he touched the ball enough. I go, yeah, I'm with you. So we gotta continue, you know, and again, but that's a good problem to have, is when you have 400-plus offense and you're trying to find ways to get more touches, and we've got some skill guy outside that haven't impacted our football team like they're gonna when we get this offense rolling. We got some receivers. We should be able to throw the ball 25, 30 times a game and complete 20 passes a game minimally, if not more, and get the ball to some skill guys that can help us outside too.
Good. All right, Coach, I think we're good. Appreciate it.
Thanks.